Hello again and welcome to our weekly quiz. If there are any new people, just to say it will be 5 rounds, 10 questions with each round, and all you will need to do is write the letters A, B, C or D on your sheet for the answers. So tonight there won't be a theme. We've been told that some people prefer just general knowledge. So tonight it's a knowledge-based round, a subject-based round. So let's have a look at the rounds. Round 1 is geography. Round 2, entertainment. Round 3, pictures. Round 4, history. And round 5, wipeout. So that'll be a general round. So they are the rounds, but we're going to start with round 1, geography. Question number 1. Clouds are caused by what? A, evaporation. B, water vapour condensing. C, melting ice crystals. Or D, transpiration. How are clouds formed? Question 2. What makes a pine cone open and close? Is it A, temperature, B, light, C, humidity, or D, atmospheric pressure? Why does a pine cone open and close? Number 3. In which Asian country is Mount Fuji? A, China, B, India, C, Japan, or D, Kazakhstan? Where's Mount Fuji? Number 4. What is the former name of the Indian city of Mumbai? Is it A, Bombay, B, Calcutta, C, Madras, or D, Pune? What did Mumbai used to be called? Question number 5. To which EU member state do the islands of Gozo and Camino belong? Is it A, Cyprus, B, Greece, C, Italy, or D, Malta? Which member state own Gozo and Camino? Question 6. In which Middle Eastern country is the Islamic holy city of Mecca? Is it A, Iraq, B, Jordan, C, Lebanon, or D, Saudi Arabia? Where is Mecca? Number 7. In which Canadian province is Montreal located? A, Manitoba, B, Nova Scotia, C, Ontario, or D, Quebec? Where is Montreal? Question 8. Which desert occupies a large area in northern Africa? A. Atacama, B. Gobi, C. Kalahari, or D. Sahara? Which desert is in northern Africa? Number 9. Which major river flows north through Africa and empties in the Mediterranean Sea? Is it A, the Nile, B, the Tagus, C, the Tigris, or D, the Volga? Which river empties into the Mediterranean Sea after flowing through Africa? And the last question, number 10. What geographic feature causes the formation of a U-shaped valley? Is it A, a glacier, B, a strong offshore current, C, a swift-flowing river, or D, a warm, dry wind? Which feature causes a U-shaped valley? And that's the end of round 1 and geography. We move on to round 2, which is entertainment. Question number 1. Who does Peter Crouch compete against in Save Our Summer on BBC One? Is it A, the Stig, B, Fast Dad, C, Sunstroke, or D, Coyote? Who does Peter Crouch compete against? Question 2. In the sitcom Not Going Out, who is married to Lee? A, Lucy, B, Emma, C, Olivia, or D, Sophia? Who is married to Lee in Not Going Out? Number 3. Who played M in the James Bond film Spectre? Was it A, Ralph Fiennes, B, Judi Dench, C, Bernard Lee, or D, Robert Brown? Who was M in Spectre? Question 4. Whose show includes the unexpected star of the week? Is it A, Jimmy Carr, B, John Bishop, C, Michael McIntyre, or D, Jack D? Whose show has an unexpected star of the week? Question 5. Which is the shortest of Shakespeare's plays? Is it A, Othello, B, Macbeth, C, Taming of the Shrew, or D, Comedy of Errors? Which is Shakespeare's shortest play? Question number 6. Which television quiz show stars Bradley Walsh? Is it A, Eggheads, B, The Chase, C, Tipping Point, or D, Pointless? Which of those quizzes is hosted by Bradley Walsh? Number 7. Who links The One Show, Country File, Blue Peter and Strictly Come Dancing? A, Chris Evans, B, John Craven, C, Matt Baker, or D, Gethin Jones? Who is the link to those 4 shows? Question 8. Who wrote the lyrics for the musical The Lion King? A, Andrew Lloyd Webber, B, Ben Elton, C, Elton John, or D, Tim Rice? Who wrote the lyrics for The Lion King? Question 9. Who's the male star of the musical film La La Land? Is it A, Ryan Gosling, B, Josh Dillon, C, Dominic Cooper, or D, Hugh Skinner? The male star in La La Land. And question 10. Who wrote the book Wuthering Heights? A, Maria Bronte, B, Charlotte Bronte, C, Elizabeth Bronte, or D, Emily Bronte? Which of the Bronte sisters wrote Wuthering Heights? And that's the end of round 2. We're speeding through tonight as we move to round 3. And this is a picture round. Picture number 1. Which breed is this dog? A, a Labrador, B, a Doberman, C, a Dalmatian, or D, an Alsatian? What is this dog? Question 2. To which country does this flag belong? A, Estonia, B, Croatia, C, Latvia, or D, Serbia? Whose country is this flag? Question number 3. What is the name of the famous hotel in Singapore? Is it A, Raffles, B, Caesar's Palace, C, the Luxor, or D, Sandals? What is the name of this hotel in Singapore? Question number 4. Which is not a species of peacock? A, Indian peafowl, B, green peafowl, C, Congo peafowl, or D, blue peafowl? Which is not a species of peacock? Question number 5. What is the name of this volcano on Sicily? A, Vesuvius, B, Mount Etna, C, Teide, or D, Rangitolo? What is the name of this volcano? Question 6. About how many years old is this historical monument? A, around 1,000 years old, B, about 15,000 years old, C, around 10,000 years old, or D, around 5,000 years old? About how old is this monument? Number 7. What is the object in the photo? A, a can opener, B, a clock, C, a pencil sharpener, or D, secateurs? What's the object? Question number 8. How many capsules are there on the London Eye? A, 24, B, 28, C, 32, or D, 36? How many capsules are there on the London Eye? Question number 9. What type of bird is this? Is it A, stork, B, heron, C, crane, or D, egret? Which type of bird is that? And question number 10. Which is not a type of cloud? A, semistratus, B, cirrus, C, stratus, or D, altostratus? Which of those is not a kind of cloud? And that's the questions before we have the break and we give you the answers. So if you are ready, the answers to round 1. Question 1, B, water vapour condensing. Question 2, C, humidity. Question 3, C, Japan. Question 4, A, Bombay. Question 5, D, Malta. Question 6, D, Saudi Arabia. Question 7, D, Quebec. Question 8, D, Sahara. Question 9, A, Nile. And question 10A, glacier. How many out of 10? And what about round 2? Question number 1, B, fast dad. Question number 2, A, Lucy. Question number 3, A, Ralph Fiennes. Question 4, C, Michael McIntyre. Question 5, D, Comedy of Errors. Question 6, B, The Chase. Question 7, C, Matt Baker. Question 8, D, Tim Rice. Question 9, A, Ryan Gosling. And question 10, D, Emily Bronte. Add them up. And questions from round 3, here are the answers. Number 1, B, Doberman. Number 2, B, Croatia. Number 3, A, Raffles. Number 4, D, the blue peafowl. Question 5, C, Mount Etna. Question 6, D, around 5,000 years. Question 7, A, can opener. Question 8, C, 32. Question 9, B, heron. And question 10, A, semistratus. So add your scores, and now you've got a score out of 30. In a minute, we will give you a chance to earn a few more bonus points. Last week, we know that the highest total, that we know of, was 47. But I have to say, Julia did a grand job because Mark and family got 47. Julia on her own got 46. So well done, both families and Julia. However, I can't decide whether to give both of them an extra 2 points for observation or to take 2 points off both of them for being cheeky, because they both commented that when David had written it up, he'd put Frankenfurters instead of Frankfurters. So I'm not sure, do they deserve 2 extra for observation or not? We had a phone call as well from one gentleman who was rather concerned that last week's quiz on food and drink was biased towards the women, as his wife really whipped him up and scored an extra 7 points. I won't let him down, but maybe, Brian, you should spend more time in the kitchen. I asked you last week as well about, did you want to carry on the quiz or had you had enough? And the comments we got back was, can we have some more, please? So we have agreed to do this weekly quiz for 4 more weeks throughout August. So if it's a Wednesday in August, there will be a quiz. And then at the end of August, that will be the end of this series of quizzes. We have raised some money towards our project, which now the total raised for the project is now reached 30% of our total budget. So we've raised about 120,000. However, this means that we've still got 70% still to get. So let's do a few more quizzes, hey? Well, we'll try and win a few bonus points for you now. And tonight, the bonus points are all about UK Prime Ministers. And what we're going to do is to put the name of a Prime Minister on the screen. Unfortunately, we can't spell very well, and the names are all in anagram forms. Your challenge is to work out which Prime Minister we have written. There are 10 names in all. We'll show you them one at a time, and you will have 20 seconds to work out which Prime Minister it might be. Write it down, and then at the end we'll see how well you've done. There are no examples, so as soon as you see the first one, work it out and write it down. So here we go for our bonus points on UK Prime Ministers. I have to say, I thought that was quite hard when I tried to do it. But it is very clever how different people's names make so many words. Perhaps some of the MPs ought to be called their anagram names. But there we go. How did you do? Let's have a look at the answers. The first one, Winston Churchill. The second one, Tony Blair. Number 3, Margaret Thatcher. Number 4, Harold Wilson. Number 5, Clement Attlee. Number 6, Anthony Eden. Number 7, Robert Peel. Number 8, Edward Heath. Number 9, Ramsay MacDonald. And number 10, Arthur Balfour. How did you do? How many out of 10? Well, as the last few weeks, we're not going to give you 10 points. We're going to go up that scale again. So if you got 0, then you obviously get 0 bonus points. If you got between 1 and 4, then give yourself 1 bonus point. If you got 5, 6 or 7 correct, you get 2 bonus points. And if you get 8, 9 or 10 correct, you get 3 bonus points. So add them to your total, and now it's out of 33 so far. And so we'll see if we can give you a few more points as we move to round 4, which is the history round. How's your history? Question number 1. How many terms or part terms did Margaret Thatcher serve as Prime Minister? Was it A, 1, B, 2, C, 3 or D, 4? How many terms or part terms did Margaret Thatcher serve? Question 2. Who was Queen Victoria's eldest child? Was it A, Alice, B, Edward, C, Alfred, or D, Victoria? Which one of those 4 was Queen Victoria's eldest child? Question 3. Which country was invaded by Germany on the 1st of September 1939? Was it A, Austria, B, Belgium, C, Netherlands, or D, Poland? Which country was invaded by Germany? Question 4. So far, how many different Prime Ministers have there been during Queen Elizabeth II's reign? Is it A, 12, B, 13, C, 14, or D, 15? How many different Prime Ministers? Question 5. Google has been around for some time, but when did it first come out? Was it A, 1978, 1988, C, 1998, or D, 2008? Which of those 4 years first saw Google? Question number 6. Who was Henry VIII's last wife? Was it A, Anne of Cleves, B, Catherine Parr, C, Anne Boleyn, or D, Catherine Howard? Who was Henry VIII's last wife? Question 7. In the Bible, who was the wife of Herod who had John the Baptist killed? A. Salome, B. Procula, C. Martha, or D. Herodias, the name of Herod's wife? Question 8. In which year did the UK vote to leave the EU? A. 2015, B. 2016, C. 2017, or D. 2018? When did we vote to leave the EU? Question 9. Which of these writers was a woman? A. Jean-Paul Sartre, B. W.D. Howells, C. George Eliot, or D. T.S. Eliot? Which of those was a woman? And question number 10. If Donald Trump is the 45th US president, who was the 40th? Was it A. George W. Bush, B. Ronald Reagan, C. Bill Clinton, or D. Jimmy Carter? Who was the 40th president of the USA? And that's the end of round 4. So let's move on to the wipeout round. And this will be mixed questions, so general knowledge. Wipeout. If you haven't played it before, let me just quickly say there will still be 10 questions. You will still need to answer A, B, C, or D. When we come to work out the answers, if you have got all 10 of the answers correct, then tonight in this round we will award you not 10 points but 20 points. If you don't know all of the answers, then leave them blank. Just answer the ones you know, and when we mark them, if you get all of the ones that you answer correct, then you score that number. So in this example, you would score 6. However, if you make a guess and you get one of your answers wrong, as soon as you get one wrong answer, you wipe out the score that you would have got and get 0. So is it worth trying? Do we need a few extra points to catch our point score up from tonight? Or are we just happy to get what we can get? Let's see. Let's play the wipeout round. Question number 1. The small country of Lesotho is completely surrounded by which larger country? A. Italy, B. South Africa, C. China, or D. Russia? Which of those 4 surround Lesotho? Question 2. Which TV soap features the Hope and the Tate families? A. Coronation Street, B. EastEnders, C. Emmerdale, or D. Hollyoaks? Which of those soaps include the Hope and the Tate families? Question 3. Who performed Maybelline, Roll Over Beethoven, Rock and Roll Music, and Johnny Be Good during the 1950s? Was it B.B. King, B. Chuck Berry, C. Fats Domino, or D. Ray Charles? Which of those singers performed the above songs? Question 4. How many of the lakes in the British Lake District are called something lake? Is it A. 1, B. 2, C. 3, or D. 4? How many lakes are called lake? Question 5. What is the de facto capital of the EU? Is it A. Brussels, B. Berlin, C. Luxembourg, or D. Strasbourg? Which one of those is the de facto capital of the EU? Question number 6. Who is not a founder of Black Lives Matter? Is it A. Alicia Garza, B. Opal Tometi, C. Rosa Parks, or D. Patrisse Cullors? Who was not a founder of Black Lives Matter? Question 7. A squirrel's nest is called a what? A. Dray, B. Eyrie, C. Form, or D. Set? What is a squirrel's nest called? And the next question, number 8. What is the penultimate book of the Bible? A. Revelation, B. James, C. Jude, or D. Philemon? What is the penultimate book of the Bible? Question 9. Where did the Great Fire of London originate? Was it A. Pudding Lane, B. Dessert Lane, C. Starter Lane, or D. Main Lane? Which lane was the place the Great Fire of London originated? And the last question of tonight's quiz, the fibula. It's a bone in which part of the body? A. The arm, B. the ear, C, the leg, or D, the neck? Excuse me. Where is the fibula? And that's the end of the quiz. Just give you a few seconds to decide whether you want to cross any of those out. Okay, so we'll go back to round 4 and give you the answers. Question 1, C, 3. Question 2, D, Victoria. Question 3, D, Poland. Question 4, C, 14. Question 5, C, 1998. Question 6, B, Catherine Parr. Question 7, D, Herodias. Question 8, B, 2016. Question 9, C, George Eliot. And question 10, B, Ronald Reagan. How many out of 10? Add it to the total so far. And then are we going to add any more points on after we've wiped out? Let's see the wipeout round answers. Number 1, B, South Africa. Number 2, C, Emmerdale. Question 3, B, Chuck Berry. Question 4, A, 1. Question 5, A, Brussels. Question 6, C, Rosa Parks. Question 7, A, Dre. Question 8, C, Jude. Question 9, A, Pudding Lane. And question 10, C, leg. 0, 20, or somewhere in between. So tonight your total score could have been 53 points. No, it couldn't. It could have been 63 if you'd have got the wipeout double. 63 points. How many have you got? Has anybody tied? Do we need a tie-break question? Even if we don't need it, might be fun to have a go. So tonight's tie-break question is this. In miles, how long is the line that can be drawn with an HB pencil before it runs out? Keep sharpening your pencil. How far will it go until you can't sharpen it anymore? How many miles would you be able to draw a line? I hope you'd written your answer down because somebody put the answer up quickly. 35 miles of continuous drawing the pencil would take. So I hope now you have got a winner. I hope, Brian, you've redeemed yourself a little bit tonight and you've caught up on some of those points. We hope that you've enjoyed tonight's quiz. Let us know what you think. Send us comments with which rounds you've enjoyed. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. So good night, take care, and may God bless you all.